inevitably at some point you are going to want to do something that is way outside the realm of your capability. This happens early in people's careers, midway through people's careers, late into people's careers. You always want to do something bigger than what you're capable of doing. It's nice. It's the ideas we have. We use our imagination and we think it would be awesome to make this amazing movie with dragons, or we do something that's a period piece, or we do this high-tech sci-fi thing in space. And then we're constantly reminded of the crew size we have, the time we have, the budget we have, all the limitations that take our amazing imagination and scale it back. Most of us don't have the luxury of working in Hollywood or on huge big budget projects where we have full creative control and we can make whatever we want. Maybe you're James Cameron and you're watching this, but I highly doubt it. Most of us have to live with the unfortunate reality that we are limited by numerous things. So my advice to you, my advice to anyone would be keep it simple. The simpler the project, the simpler the production, the more likely you are to achieve it, and to achieve it at a level that's great rather than just puttering around with garbage. This happens a lot of time in the early stage of a lot of people's careers where they just learn how to video edit. They just got a camera. They just got something, or it's their first, short film they're working on, and they want the whole 9 yards. They want the car chase, the action scene, the fight, the shootout, the bank heist, the whole deal. And then they end up filming it in their backyard or at, a grocery store instead of a bank. And all of a sudden it's looking pretty cheap and pretty amateur, and it's not really what they had envisioned. They envisioned this amazing thing and it turned out pretty bad. This is pretty much any bad film. That's kind of the formula. Usually, trying to bite off more than you can chew, trying to make something amazing, and it just being not amazing. And the problem is we have these imaginations that just go crazy with the wildest ideas. But if you can scale that back into something simpler that's still a good story, still has good characters, is interesting, it's shot well, the fundamentals of what a good movie or a good production needs to be, keep it simple so you can actually do those things and do them well, because it's a lot easier to tell a story, about a grocery store when you have access to a grocery store. So if that's the case, then capitalize on what you have, because all of us in life, we have access to things that other people don't necessarily have access to. I personally don't have access to a spaceship, so I can't, easily go out and just film a spaceship scene real quick for a sci-fi movie. But maybe I have access to a facility, a location, a geographic region that maybe you don't have access to. And so when you see my project filmed in that, like for example, I live in Arizona. So me filming in the desert, doing some kind of Western is a lot more reasonable than somebody who doesn't live near that space. But also same thing, if I were to try to film something that's like at the beach or near the ocean, I'm kind of out of luck. Or I'm trying to film something, that's like in New York, and I don't live in New York or in any city that even looks like New York. I'm gonna run into problems, and I'm gonna have to fake it. And if the budget's small, I'm not gonna be able to fake it well, and so it's just gonna be bad. And that happens all the time. So whenever you can scale things back, keep it simple, you almost make a better end product, because a lot of times the best things that are aesthetically and stylistically pleasing are the things that are simple, that are clean, that are elegant. I'm constantly talking about that with the projects that I work on. Keep it simple, have it be elegant, and have it be intentional in terms of the way it's designed or the way it's shot, or how it looks. If you keep it simple, you can focus on that and make it its absolute best, rather than just trying to cram everything in and it's all garbage. So keep that in mind next time you're working on something, or you have some great idea of something you want to do. Is it realistic? Can you actually do it? Could you tell the same story in a different environment? Or could you, focus more on the story and make a more interesting story, even though the location might not be as interesting, or maybe the characters aren't like orcs and elves. Maybe the characters are more interesting because they're in another environment. Think about those things next time you're working on something, because the simpler you make it, the better it's going to be.